Previously on Star Trek Online.
Obviously, this station isn't as abandoned as Intel suspected. Sensors are reading several Remans ships in the area, and that's just the ones that we can spot.
Make it so.
Follow that block.
Time for some tricky flying.
Above us, that's a bored sphere. The Tashiar must have used this space as a storage facility and research area for board technology. This is disturbing. We're looking at a facility used to build Thalaron weapons. If the Remans have infiltrated this base, they may be trying to secure those weapons.
So our intruder finally arrives at the heart of the matter. Have you seen all that you came to see, little spy?
Plaza is signaling us. They're going to engage the Reman ship, but they want us to take care of the fighters and plasma torpedoes.
I think I can manage that.
We need to learn more about the conflict between Orbisek and the Romulans. Sila's forces may indeed be hounding the Remans, but the use of Thalaron weapons is unacceptable. Not even the Klingons or the Breen will stoop to such barbarism.
And now, the continuation. Captain, the Remans were targeting a magnesite mine in this area, but the list we recovered didn't have its exact coordinates. I know we're in the right area, but all of the moons in this system are inhabited and our sensors are being affected by the magnesite. We need to contact each moon to try and determine which one the Remans were actually targeting. Set a course for the first moon, open hailing frequency.
You've stuck your nose in our business for the last time, Starfleet. All ships, attack! Attack!
Evasive maneuvers! Return fire! Lock onto that lockbox and beam it aboard. First moon didn't pan out. Set a course for the next one. Open a channel.
This moon is private property. No solicitors, beggars, or Starfleet allowed.
They're not very hospitable around here, are they? This is a dangerous area. It's only gotten worse since the destruction of Romulus. It might be difficult to get someone to trust us. Well, only one moon left. Helm, lay in a course. Standard orbit.
Hello, my good friends. I'm so happy to meet you. Perhaps you are in the market for some high-quality magnesite? We have the finest ore in the quadrant. On behalf of the miners and residents here, I'm more than happy to welcome you to our home. Please transport to the surface. Unfortunately, The large amount of extremely pure magnesite ore in the core of our little world will interfere with your sensors. For safety reasons, I must insist that you use the transporter signal enhancers that I have installed at my own expense. Also, I know you Starfleet types are so fond of your away teams, but could you please restrict the number of crew you bring down to the surface? My people here aren't used to strangers, and you wouldn't want to disrupt their work, would you?
We're ready to beam down on your command, Captain. Marta, you're with me. Marta, take notes. I want to make sure we're documenting everything.
On behalf of everyone on this forsaken rock, let me be the first to welcome you to Hathara. As you can see, we don't have time for pleasantries, and I'm not sharing my Tranya stash with you. So, why don't we skip the chit-chat and get down to business?
Of course. I've heard you are an excellent source of magnesite. What makes your mine better than the others in this sector?
Unfortunately, I cannot call this mine my own. I'm just a middleman. Out of the goodness of my heart, I help the residents here pass on the products of their hard work to commercial entities such as yourself. The minuscule transaction fee and trade tariff I keep to offset my expenses is figured into the unit cost of the ore. My operation has become one of the best in the area because of the high demand for my services from both sides. I provide the best mining equipment and supplies in the sector to the miners, while my customers get competitive pricing on the ore they need.
Do you have any more information about the mines themselves?
I don't pay much attention to that. Miners have empty carts and they return with ones filled with ore. If you're that interested, you could visit the mines themselves, but I don't recommend it. It's such a dirty, disagreeable business, and I'm convinced that breathing ore dust for too long is terrible for you. The miners who live near my quarters used to keep me up night after night with their dreadful coughing. I had to install soundproofing just to get some sleep.
Thanks.
Are you sure you wouldn't rather have... Are you sure you wouldn't rather look at the ore I have for sale?
Thanks, but I'd like to talk to the miners first.
Really? Suit yourself. Just remember, I have an exclusive contract to export magnesite ore from this moon. If you try to cut me out of your deals, you'll regret it.
I just have a few questions before we can conduct any business. I'll be back when I'm done. Adrian won't answer any questions about why the Remans might be targeting this place for fear of scaring us away from a possible sale. Perhaps if we ask some of the locals about what's going on here, they'll be able to provide more information. I think I saw one that was willing to talk to us. He looked like he was having trouble with some his mining equipment. over here.
I don't have time to talk to you right now. I need to repair this drill so I can make a living.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Not unless you know anything about laser induction coils. You don't by any chance know anything about laser induction coils, do you?
As a matter of fact, I do.
If I ask Modron for a replacement laser induction coil, he'll charge me 100 times what it's worth. He's the only one who brings supplies to this planet. I remember when we had regular contact with the home world and my brother there would send a package of sweets for my children in every transport. Now, I can't dwell on the past. My problem is this broken drill. I have to fix it or I won't make quota. We salvage parts from old equipment and sometimes other people here will trade components. But this requires some specific components. If you think you can help me, I'll mark your map with the locations of some people who might have what we need.
You're an outsider here. Why should I trust you? I could give you this spare part to someone who really needs it. Tell me this. How do you avoid breaking your drill bits when you hit a pocket of magnesite? Slow the rotational speed of the bit. Correct. You obviously know your way around this equipment. I'm sorry. I thought you were just another one of Modron's lackeys. He controls every second of our lives. I can't work without him, and I can't eat without buying the food from him. So the pitiful wages he pays just ends up back in his pocket. Take the part you need. We miners need to stick together. Thank you. I have a few spare parts. I'm sure I'll have what you need to get the drill working again. Thank you.
I can't pay Modron right.
Commander, this miner thinks Modron sent us to collect some debt. We need to catch him and explain. We aren't here for latinum. We need his help to repair the drill. Hold on a second.
I can't pay Modron right now.
Easy there.
You don't hurt me. I don't have the latinum now, but I can... Oh? Modron didn't send you here to break my kneecaps?
No.
I have a daughter in the radar system. I thought I could contact her to send me some latinum, but Modron won't let me use the subspace array. You see, I owe him some money. Yeah, I didn't make my quota last month because I was sick and... But that's life, isn't it? All you can do is try to hang on to whatever you have left. I'll give you the part you need. Take it, and I hope it solves your problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. With these parts, I can fix this drill and get back to work. I need to make my quota today or Modron will cut my pay again. I already owe him so much latinum, I don't know how I'll ever repay it. He brings in food and supplies that we need, but the prices are so high. I remember the dark days after we lost Romulus. There were no supply shipments for months. I had to listen to my children cry because they were so hungry. I might spend the rest of my life in debt, but I have a life. To answer your question, though, I don't know what makes this mine different from any other mine. The magnesite isn't any different. Maybe there are some veins with less impurities in the lower levels of the mine. I wouldn't know. There's a group of thugs who keep everyone away from those areas. And I won't risk a beating just to satisfy my curiosity. If you want to risk checking it out, that's your business.
Let's see what Modron has to say about that.
Want to go in the mine? Are you really interested in buying any magnesite? Or are you just here to cause trouble? Because if it's the last one, I know someplace you can start a little ruckus. There's a gang that controls the bottom levels of the mine. They won't even let me in there. Previously, I allowed them to keep their little kingdom in exchange for information. But lately, they've been more trouble than they're worth. And the intel they're feeding me is useless. Honestly, who doesn't know about the green invasion of Deferi space?
I'll take that information to heart. Alright, Marta, let's take a look. Go in peaceful, see if we can talk to these people.
What do you want?
I'd like to enter this area.
This area is restricted. Only people my friends and I like may enter. And I don't like you.
Maybe if you got to know me a little better, you'd learn to like me.
You don't belong here. And I'm done talking with you. Leave now. And suffer the consequences.
It's been a pleasure wasting my time with you. What do you say, Marta?
What do you want?
Don't think he was gonna let us pass. Be on your guard. Who knows what's out here? What were they up to? Captain, there are a series of pressure plates located in this area. They're low tech, but Romulans may have had to resort to outdated security measures because of interference from the magnesite veins in this cavern. The problem is that the magnesite is making our tricorders almost useless. If there's anything on this moon that the Remans would want to eliminate badly enough to use Thalaron weapons, it has to be here. We're going to have to figure out how to use the pressure plates to reveal whatever the Romulans are trying to hide. I suspect we need to activate 2 of them to open the door. Alright. Marta, go stand over there. I'll take this one. Well, what do you know?
I give the orders here, Commander. You are out of line.
With all due respect, sir, there is a difference between protecting the Empire from her enemies and provoking.
There is much here you do not understand, Janek. The Remans need to know their place. As do you. I will not forget your insubordination, Commander. The Tal Shiar has no place for officers who cannot follow orders. I'll be in the command center.
Colonel, they were civilians. Their blood is on our hands.
Get used to it. There will be more. Speaking of which, why don't you clean out the brig before you become a resident there?
Analysts in this room look completely engaged in their work. I wouldn't be surprised if we could sneak past them without being noticed. Phaser down. Past as many of them as we can.
I almost feel sorry for you, but I have my own wreck to worry about. I'll be joining you in there soon enough. If Hakiv has his way, we all will.
Sounds like she went upstairs. Into the room. Let's take her out first. Where'd she go? There she is. Don't move.
Enough! I surrender. I value my life more than the Tal Shiar's secrets. I'll tell you anything you want to know. But first, you must tell me why you are here and what you want.
Why does the Reman Resistance want to destroy this base?
The Remans know about this base? Impossible! Only the leadership of the Tal Shiar know we're here. The Empress herself couldn't find us. I don't believe you, but it makes no difference. This is not a military installation. We listen and record here. Nothing more. There are many targets that those Reman scum would find much more tempting.
I'll need more than your word that this base is as harmless as you say.
Colonel Hakiv will want my blood for this, but take my security code. You can use it to access the control room. You'll find everything you're looking for there.
Alright. Let's get these people out of here. got here? Journal entry 448532. We were drilling near when we broke through a wall into a chamber that hadn't appeared on our scans. Blasted magnesite, it blocks everything. Sensors, tricorders, they're all useless. The chamber is large and should be suitable for an expansion of the base. There were several spherical orbs in it. We have yet to determine the nature of these orbs. Janek thinks they are pretty. She kept one of her for her quarters. I've asked for permission to study the orbs. They remind me of a Federation report I read once. Can't remember the details, but it was something about the Janus system. Why does that ring a bell? It looks like I've got another console up here. Ensign Krimen is dead. Akiv ordered him to explore the tunnels. We found organic remains in his fully discharged disruptor nearby. It looked like it had been melted. I think we should wall off this section of the mine and not disturb the creature down here. 6 people have already died. 5 were minors and therefore expandable. Krimen showed promise. I know that in time he would have been a fine officer. I've asked Colonel Akiv to request reinforcements. If he's determined to kill people exploring this mine, let him kill recruits. Creature? Weren't kidding about these orbs. Over here. What are they firing at? Take him out. Hold your fire. No kill eye? No kill eye. No kill eye. This message is burned deep on the floor of the chamber. Horta. Silicon-based life form. Never thought I'd meet one. Alright, let's see if we can find those bases control room.
How did you find this place? What else do you know? No matter. You won't be revealing anything to your superiors. It's disappointing I cannot give you a proper interrogation, but I have much to do and little time. The self-destruct sequence has begun. This base will be your tomb.
Get that data. The reactor's going critical. We need to get out of here, but not before we find out what is so important to Hakim that he'll destroy this base to protect it. I've got it. Let's move. for those miners. Come on. Hurry up, let's go! Where's Modrin?
My mind! What have you done to my mind?
I didn't do anything. It was the Tal Shiar cell you were sheltering.
Tal Shiar? I'm shocked. I had no idea. I certainly wouldn't have sent you down there if you... Say, you didn't happen to find anything valuable down there, did you? Because if you did, remember, I have an exclusive contract.
Stop with the lies, Modrin. I know you knew and what was down there.
And what's it to you? This is a rough area of the quadrants, you know, and they're good neighbors. If you're not easily embarrassed, their cameras and listening devices are everywhere. I haven't had a single problem with Orions or Herodians since they moved in. And it doesn't hurt that I acquired the odd bit of information here and there. I'm a businessman, and information is big business.
Do you know anything about what they recently discovered?
Unfortunately, no. I'll admit, I was trying to find out, but their systems were locked down tight. I'm sure whatever it was had to be big news. Everyone was on edge. Janik and Hakeem were barely speaking, and I once heard Hakeem mumbling something about orders. Someone's been pulling his strings, but I don't know who. I do know that Tal Shiar takes security very seriously. If you manage to pull any files from their system, you can expect them to be heavily encoded. Trust me on that. I speak from experience. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go talk 100 Romulans into digging a new mine to replace the one you destroyed. My profit margin for this month is ruined.
Treat those miners well, Modrin, or I'll be back. Modrin doesn't seem to know much, Captain, or at least he's not willing to part with what information he knows without being paid. I don't think he can help us anymore. We should return to the ship and try our luck at decrypting the files we recovered from the Tal Shiar. I'm sure they'll be more useful than anything Modrin has to say. Alexandria, 2 to beam up. Open file Fervor. Notes in Klingon space. The House of Torg was brought before the High Council for commendation by the House Martok? Analyze file structure. No anomalous data structures found in file. File was referenced by another file. Reciprocity. Cross-reference with Starfleet records. Change faulty information. Acts of treason. Yeah. Select new file. Something tells me they're all kind of off. Soketh retires the monastery? I don't know that to be false. Analyze file structure. Change faulty information. There we go. Referendum. Cross-reference with Starfleet records. Change faulty information. Open file reciprocity. Apply passkey. Bingo. Secret Romulan base detected in the Dera system. Listening post of Phacites is detected an increase in subspace communications and ships traveling to and from the Dera system. Analysis of the communications and ship traffic revealed patterns of obfuscation normally employed by Reman forces. Tal Shiar forces then intercepted a ship leaving the Dera system and captured 47 Reman civilians. Passengers and crew were summarily executed under orders of Colonel Hakiv, but the captain and first officer were preserved for questioning. Under interrogation, the captain of the Reman vessel provided a security key that could be used to decipher encrypted communications sent to the Dera system. Encrypted messages prove that there is a base in this area of space being used by the Reman resistance. Recommendation: Tal Shiar ships should be sent to the Dera system immediately to capture this base and its inhabitants. Tal Shiar is planning an attack on a Reman base. We need to get this information to Admiral Tanay at Starbase 39 Sierra immediately. Helm. Com, get me Admiral Tanay at Starbase 39.
The Tal Shiar records you recovered show that Hakiv and his forces have been targeting the Remans for months. Obasek and his followers have been driven from their homes, had their ships destroyed, and their loved ones killed or imprisoned. Some might say that Obasek's campaign against the Tal Shiar is just. However, Obasek was planning on using Thalaron weapons in the Fahar system, which would have killed hundreds of innocent civilians as well as the Tal Shiar cell there. This is the problem with revenge. Violence and fury only create more pain and suffering.